Good morning. Today we're going to discuss changing labels and ribbons in the Printronix T5000 thermal line printer. We're also going to discuss proper cleaning procedures and replacement of the printhead. We'll talk about that first. Normally when we're talking about cleaning procedures and replacement of the printhead, we'll discuss that first. When the printer is ready to load labels and ribbons, it looks something very similar to what you see today. To replace the printhead and do the cleaning procedures, the labels and ribbons must be removed. What I've simulated here is on the upper roll. This is where the access ribbon is taken, leaving a core spindle at the bottom. So to replace the ribbon, when you're out of ribbon, all the ribbon will be up on the upper spindle. There'll be nothing on the lower. So once that occurs, you must need to remove the ribbon and the labels from the printer. You'll open the printhead assembly by moving this blue lever down and unlatching the printhead. To replace the printhead, there are two blue clips, finger clips, and I'll move the printer around here a little bit to show you. Two blue clips. Lift up on the lower clip, and you notice the printhead assembly just fell down. And I'm going to lift up on the rear clip as well. And now the printhead is laying here. There are three connectors on the printhead. One here, which is the power connector. One back in the back, which is a tab that you pull to pull the connector off. And then a small connector. You would remove those three connectors and then put your new printhead and reattach the three connectors. And then underneath, I'll show you this real quick. Underneath here, when we put the printhead back in place, I'm going to slide it up under this rail behind here. There are two little notches on either end to line up your little pins on. I usually hold it with my hand in this case, and I'm not putting any pressure on it, and then put my fingers in the back with the blue clips and just lift up on the lower level blue clip, and the printhead will snap in place. I grab the little fingers and just make sure it is secure and not falling out. Now while we've done that, we've put our hand on the printhead. So proper cleaning procedure is anytime the ribbon needs to be replaced, of course the ribbon won't be on the printhead now, it's time to replace it and clean the printhead. To do that, you can use an isopropyl alcohol wipe or use 90 isopropyl alcohol 91 on a soft rag, and then just apply that across the printhead assembly. Just across the printhead assembly again to clean your fingerprints off of it and also to maintain the quality of the printhead every time you change a ribbon. The second cleaning factor is the platen roll, which is this large black roll on the bottom which feeds the paper through. Take that same isopropyl alcohol wipe and wipe across that bar. Then you can take your fingers, your thumb, push on the bar to the back. That will rotate the platen roll out of the way, where you can clean the next side of it, and then push it again so it rotates another 30 degrees or so you can clean the rest of it. And now those are the proper cleaning procedures for the printer. The platen roll, every time, I normally say every 4 or 5 rolls of labels, or when you see buildup on the platen roll. And then the printhead, every time you change a ribbon. So now we've done the cleaning procedure. We replaced the printhead, we cleaned the printhead, we cleaned the platen roll. Also, let's just take a look inside, just to make sure if you have any paper dust or whatever, you can also vacuum or wipe the inside of the printer out as well. So let's change the ribbon while we're here. Again, the access ribbon is going to be on the top. We're going to pull it off and throw that away. We're going to take the core from the lower spindle and move it to the upper spindle. Then we're going to take our new roll of ribbon and we're going to place that on the upper spindle. The new ribbon will have a leader on it, and we're going to place that on the upper spindle so that the ribbon runs off the right-hand side. Press it all the way to the rear. I usually take some slack out of the ribbon assembly, just like this, and it slides under this lower guide, slides up around, and then with the taped end, I just bring it right up and tape it right onto my upper spindle. And then I'll just run just wind the upper spindle up until the ribbon is taken up and covered. And now I've just replaced my ribbon assembly. The labels, of course, go on the rear. If you're having roll labels, the labels are going to go on across my spindle. My blue handle goes up and in, or it can also go down and in like this, depending on the label you're using. But up and in, and normally again here, I do the same thing. I run some labels off, and then I'll hold the lower guide up. This is just the guiding of the paper. I'll just hold the lower guide up and just slide the labels in. And the labels will now be into the printer. And then just by pressing your finger on the printhead assembly, I'm going to lower the printhead assembly and then lock it back in place. Now on the front panel at the same time, since we had an error, the front panel light at the top here is blinking. And we need to clear that error by hitting the pause button and then bringing the printer back online. It does a back and forth motion, which lets the ribbon calibrate itself to decide how much ribbon is left in place. Hitting the feed button then will feed the label out to the top of the next form. You can tear it off, and your printer is ready to go. In the display, you'll see 4 asterisks in our case, because I put a 625 meter ribbon in this unit, and that means that 4 asterisks indicates I've got a full ribbon in place. So hopefully this was very helpful to give you instructions on changing the printhead, the proper cleaning instructions, and changing the labels and ribbons. Thanks for choosing Printronix.